niggas better wear vests. Last year I was broke, yeah, nigga.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome to Good Morning LaLa. I'm Dr. Erin.
Hi, I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jasmine Way, and I'm so excited to co-host America's first live streaming talk show, Good Morning LaLa Land, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now on Twitter.
And we've got a great show in store for you. It's all about Transformation Tuesday. We've got 3 epic interviews all around transformation, inspiration, and just some powerhouses in the house.
Absolutely. It's health, wellness, and beauty.
Mm-hmm. All storytellers, too.
Body, mind, spirit transformation is what we're all about, right?
That's right.
So how are you guys transforming today?
Not going to lie. I am debating whether or not I should do this cord cutting meditation tonight.
Cord cutting.
Cord cutting. So sounds so intense.
Did you have a baby and we don't know about this? Or what?
Absolutely not. Don't get my mom excited. No pressure, Erin. I went to an event a couple weeks ago, and it was hosted by Success Beyond Beauty, Terry Briggs, part of the Focus TV family, and the Yes Apply and Positive Soul, and they were talking about guided meditations. And one of the ways that they really thought they transformed their emotional well-being was through a cord-cutting meditation, right? Sounds super sketch. So they were saying that we're all linked by like different cords, and sometimes relationships in our lives are more draining than others, even when that person isn't in your physical space. Like if you have that subconscious attachment to somebody, it can be like physically draining you. Because I was mentioning, like I hold this tension right here in my chest, like I'm tight chested, I can hardly breathe. And she's like, you need to cut your cord. And I was like, I don't know about this. So she sent over a meditation. I'm thinking that maybe I'm gonna cut some cords tonight.
Maybe you're finally ready, right? So in shamanism, and you know, I've been obsessed with consciousness for many, many years. So on my 22-year journey, one of the things I was really curious about was shamanism, not the type that's, you know, medicines, but the authentic, you know, working with energy. And part of that was cutting cords. So energetically, and you know, just to put it out there, that when we are intimate with people, there's actually something that happens energetically. That's why we connect, and the chakras align, and we get actually connected, and we have cords, and so we are we're literally entangled. You guys like when I use that word? We get energetically entangled with people. So if you've had, you know, past relationships or whatever, there's work to be done to complete those energetic cords. So hence, I'm assuming that's what her meditation is about.
So some of us need scissors and some of us need like chainsaws.
Chainsaws, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna chainsaw through this cord tonight. What I really liked about it, it wasn't like just I'm cutting this off. It's that I'm releasing this, and everything that you were taking from me, I just give to you, so that you already have it yourself. And that's what I really liked, because there's something interesting about feeling responsible for someone else's well-being, even though we're not responsible, right? There's still like that guilt and that pressure to like, I still have to provide this, even though they might not be in your life anymore. So I was really excited about the fact that I could still give without giving any more myself.
Such a profound point that you make, Jessalyn, because that's one of the greatest challenges, I think, and opportunities that any of us experiences, because we do want to take responsibility for how we feel and how we think and even how we communicate. But you're absolutely right. You can't take responsibility for how other people feel or receive what you have to say or share with them, right?
Yeah, and that's what I love about Ellen Rakuten. She was one of Oprah's producers for 23 years. She's won 13 Emmys, and it was such an incredible interview that we did a couple months ago, because she's really harnessed the ability for women, and especially Oprah, to really like share that without taking on responsibility. Like still, I feel like kept her guard up, right? Protected herself emotionally while doing that.
Yeah.
She's a very free spirit, for sure.
Yeah.
Over the top, radiant.
Yeah, and it's interesting to hear her story about telling stories, right? Because I think she's, you know, certainly had her challenges along the way, but also was able to turn those into, of course, hit TV show for decades.
I mean, and who does it better than Joyce Gerard? Miss like Puerto Rico. She comes in with just the hair and the leggings, and I mean, she is a sexy mommy.
Yeah, it's so funny. I was checking out her Instagram account, and I wrote something, and I remember one of her most recent post was basically like, this is one of my beauty tips. And we were all like, your beauty tip is you just wake up Joyce Gerard. That is your beauty tip, wake up.
And there's some people that seem like they need to cut more cords than others. Some people have completed their work and some haven't. And it's interesting to watch. Like Joyce walks in, you just feel like there's just, I don't know if it's her lineage also from her, family in Puerto Rico. She's very grounded, really grounded. What do you think?
Oh, completely. She is unapologetic about her and her space and her vision. And you're right, Erin. She just feels grounded.
Right?
Yeah, you feel a healthy energy from her. The same, I think, energy you get kind of from Robert Ferguson, whose focus is health.
Yeah, absolutely. What I loved about Robert, too, and reflecting back on that interview, is that he has a program that meets people exactly where they are. So something that's so intimidating about like a cord-cutting meditation or transforming your life is that you already have to be somewhere to transform it to be somewhere else. And really, Robert says, no, you can be right where you are. You can be having your Big Mac and your soda and whatever it is, and I'm going to meet you where you're at, and we're going to start now today.
He says, diet-free life. I'm saying, sign me up.
Yes. Diet-free life. I love that. Yeah.
It's all about transformation today. So let's stay tuned, you guys. We're going to have 3 epic interviews with who we believe truly have transformed their life into really empowering, beautiful, beautiful, profound lives that empower and transform other lives. So stay tuned, you guys, for these epic interviews. I'll be right back.
Welcome back. We are here with Ellen Reicherton. She has won 13 Emmy Awards, and she has been producer for the Oprah Winfrey Show for 23 years. She's also my good friend. Welcome to the show, Ellen.
Yeah, Ellen.
Hi.
So,
How are you?
so nice to see you again.
Girls, you are beautiful.
Aren't they?
The hair.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking
My hair?
I want that hair. That is good
have it.
stuff.
We can't have it. But I'm thankful. It's good.
I have to know, Hollywood Reporter called you one of the most powerful people in reality TV.
Well, that's psychotic.
How does that make you feel?
And it's not.
Well, I think that, okay, so I've been thinking about this a lot lately because people have been asking about Oprah running for president. And what's hit me lately, and I'm going to try to say this articulately and fast, is I never, when you're in something like that, you're not thinking, oh, I'm saving lives, or I'm changing the conversation on sexuality or race or anything like that. And I went back and I found my very first letter from a woman who watched a show I produced that decided not to kill herself.
Wow.
And then I have thousands of those, and I left my husband and those kinds of things. So I think the distance now, starting to have some distance from that, the impact of what that all was, I understand, but when you're doing it and you have to do a daily show every day, you're not sitting there going, wow, we're doing this, we're doing that. You're just doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how, I don't feel like powerful. I don't feel that. I just feel like for whatever reason, I was born to do what I was doing. And that's,
And I think that's what makes you so powerful, Ellen, is that you don't recognize that. You don't give people the impression that you think you're very powerful, and yet you are. Your energy is very powerful, your emotion is very powerful, you have a huge heart. It's also contagious, and I think that's what makes you so powerful.
Yeah, you come in and it's like there's just this ball of energy flowing through the studio this morning. It's
knew?
like, yeah, right?
I'm coming here every day.
Maybe you should run for presidency.
Oh, Lord. Oh, my gosh. But no, I guess, I don't know. So that's why I think it just is what I did, and I don't know how to answer, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I walked around going, oh, I'm the most powerful person on TV, that would make me sick. And I think that's just, I don't know, I just do it. And I have to say, as we're sitting here, so can I say how I met Rob?
Please.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I picked him up last night in a bar. Just kidding.
Rolled in here this morning.
I rolled in this morning. My oldest child he's a great kid, and he's a basketball player and all that, and needed some guidance. And I called my dear friend who you all just met, Dr. Ramani, and I said, this would be he needs sort of a mentor kind of a person. He wasn't doing anything crazy. It wasn't like that. He just was trying to find his way for a minute, and we found Rob. And Rob basically spent months and months hanging with my son and, just teaching him different ways to think. He still wears this bracelet. And he touches it and it makes him grounded. And a couple of weeks ago he said to me, you need to follow Rob Mack's advice. You are too stressed out and you need to meditate. And I'm like, who are you? By the way. But you changed his life.
Wow.
You did. You changed his life.
I so appreciate you saying that, Ellen. You have the most amazing kids in the world. And it's so interesting because we live in a world that's so crazy and it's so chaotic and it's crazier and more chaotic than ever. And how these kids get through it, I have no idea. I mean, I really don't, because I wouldn't have.
Thank God that I have to say, I'm sorry, Romany, because she has two beautiful girls. I am so happy I have boys. I just think, you know, with the Instagram girls, and I talk to all the girls, I talk to their friends, and they're adorable girls, they're perfect, and then you go on Instagram and you're like, there's no way I could ever look like that, and the pressure, but I just would like to, it literally took a, you know, 18 at the time, 19-year-old kid, and changed his life.
Wow.
So talk about, that's what I'm really interested in hearing, because I've never really heard the full story. You know, what was it like for you to be a kid? I mean, did you dream of doing TV and being in production? I mean, what was that like? Can you just tell us a little bit about your journey?
Yes, I will tell you the whole thing. Yeah. So I lived in Chicago till I was in the 5th grade. And then my dad got a different job and we moved to Minneapolis. Yeah. And I was the only Jewish girl in my high school. And Mike Brown, out there, Mike, not Mike, Mike was nice. Mike Brown asked me to prom and his parents said he couldn't take me. Wow. I was like, no, I'm really great. What do you mean? What are you talking about? And my brother was dating a girl who he has an amazing wife, but at the time, you know, very much in love. And her parents said that if she kept dating him, they would cut her off.
Wow.
I was like, wow. Wow. So I don't know if it's a prevalent thing, but it's like the John Birch Society. Does anybody remember that?
No.
Romney does. Very, not, you know, sort of Jews weren't allowed. How's that? And so I said, I have to leave here. And my sister was living in Chicago. Oh, hold on. My brother was dating somebody else after that one ended. And she was producing a local talk show in Minneapolis. And she said, come be an intern. It'll be really fun. Cut to Oprah was staffing up. And they started calling around local talk shows. At the time, there was a show called Kelly and Company, all these different, you know, Good Morning, like a Good Morning LA or whatever, if this one had been on, and trying to find producers to staff up her national show, because she was doing a show called AM Chicago. Because they felt that, and they're right, that if you do a show like this, you have to learn how to do everything. And so somebody called me, still don't know who, flew to Chicago. There's always around a boy in my life. I was dating somebody, and I remember saying, I'm going to break up with you because I'm going to Chicago. And he's like, oh, yeah, sure. And I went, and I didn't take the job at first because of
the boy.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, of course, right?
I was like 8. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I was like 10. It was like, you know what I mean? Like, whatever. So then I went back, changed my mind, and our first interview, so I was an intern at this show, and our first interview was really funny because I was actually underage, and it's the only time I've lied about my age to be older.
Wow.
Like, who does that, right?
Especially not in this town.
And I remember I had a really cute outfit on, and Oprah was like, she told me I looked like a Kennedy, which I don't know if that was, she thought that was good, because she was close friends with Maria Shriver, and we went to a restaurant, and the wait person came and said, what would you like to drink? And all I could think of was MTV Spring Break. Long Island iced tea or sea breeze. I was like, let's sea breeze. And then she was like, oh my God, that's what I drink too.
Whoa.
I was like, okay.
Bonding.
That was how I got the job. I mean, but like seriously. And so there's 4 of us at the beginning working in like this big. And we all, not Oprah, but we smoked cigarettes back then in a closed room. It must have been quite pleasant. And the thing was, there was no infrastructure. We just did what we wanted. So we'd come to work and say, oh my gosh, I went on a date last night, didn't call me back. Let's do that show. Oh my God, I felt fat today. Let's do that show. Oh, what are the best jeans for your butt? Let's do that show. Like it was overused words, authentic and organic, but there was no plan. There really was no plan.
Wow.
And so I think that's, and then it just, when we went, our very first national show, welcome to the very first National Movie Show. If you've never seen that clip.
So you didn't feel like it was a mission. It was more just like, we're having fun, we're working, and it just like...
No, because our very first show, we could not get a guest because nobody knew who she was. We tried Don Johnson, and we sent him like sunglasses and, when it was still politically correct, a mink teddy bear. We couldn't get anybody. And we ended up doing a show called How to Get a Man to Marry You by a woman who wrote a book, oh my gosh, my brain, Margaret Kent, why do I remember this? But we couldn't get anybody to do the show. So we were, I don't want to say forced, but we had to figure out what we wanted to see and what we cared about. And that was really it. And then it went one thing to the next. And actually celebrities were never a favorite of hers to do. That was always not.
Interesting.
Unless it was a, somebody that really came to play like a comedian, but she was never big on celebrity. So we just made it up.
So when was the moment when you went, holy crap?
I know, people ask me that. You know what, I wish I could answer you.
We made it.
I don't know. Well, the very first show, so Phil Donahue, if anybody out there
of
even
course,
knows
yeah,
who
right?
that is, that was the only other show of its kind on. And the very first show, our ratings were higher than his.
Wow.
And I remember
First
her
show.
coming into the office saying, we beat Phil Donahue. And we were like, oh my, what?
Right.
And so, but then I think when I really realized the responsibility that we had, we did a show on decorating tips. And one of the tips was put lavender, don't do this, anybody. To put lavender oil on your light bulb because it'll smell, well, their house burned down.
Oh.
Yeah, that was bad. So then we were like, oh, people are listening to us. Like, we can't do that. And then we did a couple of things that made us feel bad. We had Angie and Garth. They were having marital problems, and we brought his mistress out on the air to meet her for the first time. That was a bad idea. And we realized that's not what we wanted to do.
But that was that time in history
But, I mean,
around
it was
reality
actually
shows,
before-
right?
No, because like those shows, like Sally Jesse and Montel and those people weren't
They
on
hadn't
yet.
come out yet.
No, and we did that, and we realized we don't want to do that. We don't want to be the paternity testing people. And so the mission statement was inform, enlighten, uplift, and entertain.
Love it.
You can put a lot in there, by the way. You can just but we realized that, I mean, we still wanted, you got to do stuff that people are going to watch and everything, but we realized we didn't want to do that. And so I think then that was a very big turning point for us, that we didn't want to be exploitive, and we didn't, like, that's when we decided we were never going to have the KKK on again. We did those shows because we realized we were giving somebody a platform, and we were being used. We thought, oh, we're shedding light, we're shedding light.
Right.
So I think it was there was like a couple pivotal moments. Garth and Angie was a big one.
Right, and so fast forward today. I know that you have so many projects and amazing things, and we want to bring you on for Friday because
running for president.
Okay. No,
Not gonna happen.
Heard it here.
So because you guys, you guys are great friends, and this is about relationship, and I know that you have kind of an interest in relationship in shows. So what is that? If you had a magic wand, what does that look like for you?
Well, I just created one. How's that?
Okay, there you go.
I'm really excited about it. So as we talked about, I have these 2 teenage boys, and they're funny and
Very funny.
very funny, and also very protective. And I've found more and more. I don't go to them for advice because that would be inappropriate, but every once in a while they'll say something to me. I'm like, wow, I just really didn't think about it that way. Oh, well, okay. So I decided that there should be a generational conversation. So mom, daughter, and then the grandmother. But the grandmother's really young. So Jada Pinkett Smith, her daughter Willow, and Jada's mom. And it's going to be great. Really
Shout out
excited.
to them. Love all the whole family.
Having the generational conversation now.
Because we all as moms sit and talk about our kids, ask your kids. So that's what I started doing, is I started, instead of saying, this is what you should do, I want, like, what do you think? How's that for starters? What do you think? And also, I learned early on, I co-created the Dr. Phil show, and one of the things he said to me, he had 2 boys, he said, do this. Don't say, I'm proud of you, say you're proud of yourself. So just, so I think what I just started to realize is that they have a lot to say, and they have all their forms to say it, but as parents, they tell me too much, by the way. Right. My youngest son, which he will never see this, thank God. He'll never forgive me, but we were driving a couple weeks ago, like, so Nick, whatever his name is. So, have you had sex? And my friends are like, I can't believe you taught your kids that way.
Yeah.
And then they're spilling the beans. They're like, okay, well, let's reel this in now. But I just, and all my kids' friends say, we can't believe your relationship. It's not like I'm not like that mom who's endorsing drinking or smoking pot or anything, but I'm real about what's happening, and I don't want them to have to hide anything.
And from a spiritual perspective, kids are, they're really our peers. We're born of whatever, and I think it's so important in our culture to listen. They have a voice, just like, they have a great voice, and they know intuitively so much, wisdom is
social
great.
Media and everything else, their voices are, I think, and I just think that I want to hear, I was fascinated. I asked one of my kids, how easy is it to get drugs? And he was telling me last week that the new drug of choice on college campuses is, they call it bars, which is
I haven't heard that.
Xanax.
Oh.
And there's some new rapper out, who's great, actually, his name's Russ. He's singing sort of against when
the
you hear bars. So, but I like the fact that it's an open, they tell me instead of hiding it from me. So I think don't, and I think this, I know a lot of parents who are doing the best they can I say ass?
Please.
But they have their heads up their ass because not my kid. My kid would never.
Right.
No, your kid was and is, and I'm seeing it. So I think having that conversation, and having that age for somebody
So
who's
important.
articulate and open and honest about what's going on.
Oh, we're excited to see the show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ellen, I wonder, what do you think is the biggest lesson that your boys have taught you?
Oh Lord. Well, yesterday it was like, stop acting so old. Okay. Oh boy. I mean, what is the biggest lesson they've taught me? Well, oh God, I don't even know how to start with that. So I'll start to cry, and I did my makeup and everything. First of all, they are their own humans. So parents have children, and then they think it's their little mold to model them in their way that they see them. And I realized, I bought my son, Ralph Lauren and all the little preppy stuff when he was little, and all he did for 4 years was dress like Eminem to go to school. And I had to embrace that. I was like, whoa. And then, now he's wearing the clothes I want him to because he got. So letting them be themselves. Right. Also, I think that, of course, unconditional love and those kind of things, but it's really hard as a parent to not be controlling and not, because you're watching somebody make a mistake that you love so much. So that, to just, they've got to find their own way. And then I think the other thing is, I have the best mom in the world, but she's a worrier. She worries about me. And I don't want her to worry about me. I want her to say, it's all good. Because that's what you want from your mom. It's all good. And I'm like, no, it's awful. And you don't want her to say, no, you're right, it's awful. So I feel with my kids, it is, they want from me, no matter what I'm going through, is just to be like, it's all gonna be fine. None of this really matters. And then I turn to him, and I'm like, oh my gosh, But for them, it's all gonna be okay. Right. And I don't care if they see me cry. I think it's okay. It's okay. I lost my temper. I lose my. I'm just trying to be myself. So, what have I learned from them? Just, I'm not a phony, and they know that. And so I don't know. I don't even know. Blah 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 blah. I'm rambling because there's so many different things, but we have a pretty extraordinary relationship. Right. Because I let them be them. But it took me a long time to get there.
There's a quote I love, which is, "It's all going to be okay. If it's not okay, it's not the end. It's the end." And so we're going to take a quick break. It's not the end. We'll be right back.
We're live in Los Angeles with Good Morning LaLa Land and the gorgeous actress, producer, and philanthropist Joyce Gerard. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you so much for coming.
Amazing. Thank you for being here today.
Yeah, mommy's the best title, right? In the universe.
So you have some amazing stories about how you met your husband and maintaining a successful relationship. Tell me about the moment you met him.
So it was a blind date. Believe it or not.
Who set you up?
A blind date, believe it or not. A girl that neither of us really knew. I had met her once. He met her once. She was dating a guy that used to work for him at the time. And she calls me out of the blue. I met her once at a party, and she calls me out of the blue and says, I need you to meet this guy. And I'm like, no, I was like, I'm single by choice. I'm working on my career. And she's like, no, you got to meet this guy. And I said, no, I don't do blind dates. She lived in New York, by the way. And she tells me, I tell her, when you come to LA, naturally, organically, we'll all go to dinner. And she goes, no, I'm not coming to LA for the next couple months, so you have to meet the guy. And I'm like, no, you don't know me. You don't know what type of guys I like. I am not going to go meet it. No, he's a producer. And I said, oh, how cliche, just because I'm an actor. I have to date him. And she goes, you have to meet him. He is the man for you. You guys are going to get married. And I'm like, no. And I didn't trust her or nothing.
Wow.
She's not a matchmaker.
What made you change your mind?
I didn't. He stalked me for 3 months on the phone. She gave him my number. And when she gave him my number, I told her, you know what, lose my number because you're so disrespectful. You gave the guy my number. And now here I have this guy calling me. And on the phone, he sounded, and we've been together 16 years.
Wow.
And on the phone, he sounded, I kid you not, like he was 100 years old. And I was like, this girl thinks I'm a gold digger. And then I just want to date like the famous old producer. And I was like, oh my God. And there wasn't Google back in the day. I wasn't even opening my computer. I had a computer that I won in the Miss Puerto Rico pageant. And I had it in a box because I thought, if I take it out, it's going to get old.
Right.
So it was in the box. It was like, it's so cute there. My computer. So I wasn't techie. I'm still not techie. And he just called me every day. And by the time, every time he called, I was like, oh, it's the oldie, but he's so nice. I don't want to be disrespectful. And all my girlfriends would be like, oh, the oldie that's calling you. That's so, that's so
But you
screwed
kept
up.
picking
this
up.
girl. But I picked up and I'm like, hi, listen, I'm in a meeting. Hi, I have to wash my hair. Hi, I have period pain. Hi. I mean, I had every excuse in the book because, you know. But on the phone, he was so nice. I remember once telling one of my girlfriends that I wanted to hook him up with her because I was like, Lauren, this guy, if he was only at least like 50, I would date him because he is amazing. He's the kindest soul you can imagine. He's sweet. He's funny. On the phone, I liked him. I said, you know what? This guy's going to be my friend for a long time, but I want to keep it clear that I'm never going to date him. You know, it's just, I'm not going to, no.
But you really didn't know how old he was. He just sounded old.
He just sounded old. But I knew nothing about him. And by the way, he doesn't just get that from me. He gets that from a lot of colleagues in the business.
He must be a wise old soul.
Right? He's German. So he talks, he talks with this accent that he doesn't think exists.
So then what? So how many weeks to how long did it go
So
on?
3 months, he called me every single day. And for 3 months, I made excuses. And every week he made a party at his house just to have a place to invite me. Because I even told him, there was a point where I even told him, look, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to go out with you. I don't do blind dates. I'm sorry. I like you on the, you're very nice. I like you as a person, but I'm not going to date you. So let's just keep it the way, let's keep it real. Yeah. And he was like, so come to my party. I guess he was confident that if I met him, and I was like, no, yeah, what's the address? He made like 8 parties. I never showed up.
Wow.
And he always tells the story. He kept calling every day. And he would call me the day after the party. So I'm sad you couldn't make it, but I'll make another one next week. Wow.
It's fine. He's like, I can do this forever. I can throw parties forever. It's fine.
Because he Googled. His friend that worked for him Googled and said, listen, this is the girl, you have to meet her. So he was like, oh yeah, he saw all the pictures and all this stuff and he was like, oh my God, when I saw the pictures, I just wanted to meet you.
Wow.
So then finally one day, I was coming back from New York from doing a modeling job. And when he calls me and I said, weren't you going to Germany? Are you on the plane? And back in the day, I thought, wow, how decadent. Lauren is going to love this guy. Yeah. He's calling me from the plane. That is so nice. And he says, yeah, what are you doing tonight? And I said, oh, I'm just going to order in. I'm ordering Chinese. I love Chinese food. He goes, okay, I'll pick you up at 8. And I'm like, And it was just pure silence. And I had no excuse up my sleeve. Yeah, I was like, what am I going to do? I was like, well, I need to unpack. Well, and he goes, I'll pick you up at 8. And I'm like, well, perhaps we should do a coffee. And he goes, coffee's BS, using the entire word. I don't want to cuss right. He goes, coffee's BS, I'll pick you up at 8. And I'm like, okay, I'll just be really ugly so that he doesn't. And then he's over me and I'll take Lauren's picture in my clutch.
Wearing potato sack.
I was like, I'll take Lauren's picture so that, wow, look at my glamorous friend and look at me. I mean, you got to date my glamorous friend. So he says, okay, I'll pick you up. And then I was really complicated. I said, no, you have to change the restaurant just so that he would be turned off. Like, oh, this girl's complicated.
Oh my God,
so
you were trying to sabotage
I was so sabotaging it. And thank God, what God has in stock for you, it's for you, and nothing can sabotage it, even yourself. And when I'm looking from my apartment, I'm looking down and I see this big head of hair, and I call my best friend and I'm like, Oldie has a toupee.
You did not. You did not.
Oh no.
So I'm like, oh my God, Oldie has a toupee. And she's like, oh my God, what restaurant are you going to? That is so embarrassing. And I'm like, oh my God, but he's so nice. You know, I don't have the heart to now cancel. And she goes, oh my God, just go to McDonald's or something. And I'm like, oh. So I go down, I'm like, okay, here we go. And I had zero makeup, hair in a bun, big fat cowboy jeans, flat cowboy boots, a wife beater, and a big jacket. So I looked like I was cleaning in my house.
No,
you know?
he probably looked.
Right? He always says, this is my favorite look. You can go back to that. So I come out, and when I see him, I'm like, you're you? And he goes, finally. And I'm like, I was like, oh my God, this is, you know, when you're a little girl and you imagine your perfect Barbie doll Ken,
Wow.
and you're like, this is the man of my dream. That was, and I just could not believe. I was like, oh my God,
Wow.
oh my God, and I got really nervous and I started shaking. And then we went to the dinner and I looked like crap. And then I went in the bathroom expecting any girl to give me mercy makeup. And not one girl walked in that bathroom. And this was at Asia de Cuba. So if you know the Mondrian, it's always packed.
Yeah, there's no reason.
Not one girl walked in. And all I had was my little rosebud, like a little lip gloss. And I said, okay, I'm gonna become J-Lo. I'm gonna put it all over my face. I'm just gonna glow.
Oh, you did not.
I did. Oh no. So I let my hair down. I'm like, let me fluff my hair because I had it in a bun. I put the gloss all over my face, and I'm like, okay. So I just walked out, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't even have a bra. Like, be sexy or nothing. So I just went, and we had the best conversation. We talked about our passions in life. I'm extremely passionate about charity, and he told me his mom has been doing charity her whole life. So I was like, oh my God, because when you are going to be with someone, you're going to be with their family too. You know, so, and that's just the way it is. You marry everybody, you know.
And now you've been married for 16 years?
We've been married, no, we got engaged immediately. We met in February. He proposed to me in August on his birthday.
Wow.
And he proposed right away. And then I said, you know what? We need to take our time, because I always believe that you can't just, I mean, nothing wrong with people that decide to get married right away. But for me personally, I always believed, you know what, we need to see if we are great living together. It's a different thing dating than living. It's a different thing.
Absolutely.
You know, let's just see if this is really a forever situation, because I don't want to get divorced. So let's just see if it's going to, I come from a single mommy that was divorced. So I didn't want that for my kids. So I was like, let me just wait. Let's just wait. And we lived together for a while. We were happier than ever. We never, thank God, knock on wood, knock on anything. We don't fight because we have the same north. We have the same vision in life, and the same morals, and you know, so thank God we're very compatible with that. So we lived together for a while, engaged, and then we got married. We've been married now 9 years.
Wow.
Congratulations. That's such a beautiful story.
Thank you. And 2 kids down the road. We are so happy. And I had really bad pregnancies, and I can't imagine another soul that would have shared with me that such a hardship that was brought into my life with my pregnancies, like my husband. He was there for me day and night. He supports all my crazy endeavors. He is just my everything.
Wow.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
What qualities do you most love about your husband?
You know, when you were
Top 2 or 3.
saying, I was listening to you when you were saying kindness is so important. I love how kind he is. I love how genuine he is. I love how, in Spanish we say, no hacer acepción de personas. It's like not making anybody different. He makes everybody feel the same. And for me, being raised in Puerto Rico, that was something always important. In Puerto Rico, there's no class division, there's no color, there's none of that. I mean, I didn't grow up with that. You know, there's no, oh, you're black, oh, you're we're everything, because we are life, we're love, you know, and that's what we should teach our children how to be. And I think that's what I love about him. He's kind, he's amazing.
I have a question for you then. For the women out there that are looking, they're going, they believe that there's somebody out there. They believe that story is what I think so many people desire to have.
Yeah, they want you.
What would you say for people that haven't found that person that's just right for them?
I would say don't settle, like I said before, don't settle for Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. Some guys also settle for Mrs. Right. Don't settle for a person that has come into your life and you're trying to make it work. If it doesn't work, it's not going to work. So don't settle, just wait. And be open to love, because also you might not be open and Mr. or Mrs. Right is coming into your life and you're not open. So it's all about timing as well. You both have to be ready. But when you're ready, when you know what, I love myself enough to be able to give love, because the number one thing is you have to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, if you don't value yourself, if you don't take care of yourself, you have nothing to give. So you have to love yourself first. And once you love yourself enough to where you're ready to give that love, then just be open to find it. Let the right person come.
You know what's really interesting though is that so many people find the right person and it doesn't stay that right person.
Yeah.
How do you maintain that intimacy, maintain that relationship, maintain that feeling all these years later?
So people change. People, it's human nature. Some people change. However, I do believe if you give yourself enough time to know someone, then you will know what they're really about. Right. Because some people, unfortunately, become something they're not just to make you happy. Right. Like I said before, some girls do it a lot, some guys do it a lot. They become what they think you want them to be just to make you happy. So you have to give yourself time to know that person, time to see their ups and downs, because life is not always going to be color pink. You know that life is going to throw curveballs at you, and you have to find a person that is going to be strong enough with you to accept those curveballs and go navigate life with you. So you have to just get to know that right person. And if somebody changes, I tell all my friends, if it's not a healthy relationship, if it's not right, get away from it.
Such great advice.
Get away. I told my mother, Mommy, I want you to get a divorce. And when I was a very young girl, and I think if it's not right, you have to be strong enough to step away.
Strong enough to let it go.
Yeah. We have to take a break, but I'm just, not only are you gorgeous, but you can tell an incredible story, and I'm blown away with the beauty inside and out.
You're so beautiful.
For
You
sure.
all are.
Amazing, right? So when we come back.
I give it up to you guys. I just sit here and I just sit here and enjoy the beauty around me.
When we come back, we are going to hear the story behind your secret elixir and what keeps you looking so beautiful. Stay tuned.
Back live from Los Angeles, we have an extraordinary human being here, Robert Ferguson, talking about diet-free life. I like you already.
Well, it's good to be here. Come on, show.
So nice to meet you.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about.
So much to talk about. And on our quick little break, you were telling us that you're going to give us the truth about collagen, because that's all the rage right now, right?
There is a lot of rage about collagen, and it works.
And are you using it?
I use it. Yeah, I'm like 85 years old. I'm 85.
But I'm going to say, and I'm going to play a little devil's advocate right now, in that I get that there's patents, there's these formulas, people want to promote products, but I'm a true believer that we should be able to cleanse, detox, and align with Mother Nature and have this naturally occur in our bodies. So how would we get it without taking that pill?
Well, I'm totally with you. As a clinical nutritionist and one who's done a ton of work and major studies all over, actually worldwide, this collagen that I'm talking about inhibits that one enzyme. So just think about that. So it stops an enzyme from doing what causes us to look older, which is going to happen regardless. So if it inhibits that,
stop aging?
You literally can.
Wow.
And then you have scientific studies that support it. I mean, you can go to PubMed and look at the abstracts on what I'm talking about, and it's very, very clear. So all your top cosmetic surgeons, like in Beverly Hills now, have been turned on to this for post-operation, procedures to help people heal faster, burn victims. When you have hyaluronic acid that's taking place from the inside out, you're going to look younger. Your skin's going to feel better. Everything is going to be better.
It's interesting because hyaluronic acid is such a trend right now, and you see it. I mean, even down to the drugstore brands, Neutrogena, hyaluronic acid, everything.
And they're all talking, but they're not really able to substantiate. So when you have the studies that support an increase of 6,000% of hyaluronic acid in the blood by just taking a certain type of collagen, that is amazing.
And are there any additional health benefits besides obviously just stopping the aging and looking older? I mean, what?
I mean,
else
that's like, that
happen?
is the health benefit. It's like collagen. Like I said, if I could sing, I would create a song called Collagen.
Little jingle to go along with it.
So
Yes.
back to, Motivation Monday and having a diet-free life. That's, I
Yes.
think that because people start Monday, they all start their diets. They never work. By Thursday, they're off their diets. Let's face the fact. So how do I stay motivated to not, for me, it's like I don't diet. So that's my motivation. But what is it that you're teaching in a diet-free life?
Well, my take on why people are challenged with like obesity and why we can't seem to reverse it is that the uninformed are often misled or influenced by the misinformed. So there's a lot of information that people think they know is true. And because of confirmation bias, they're going to stay very focused on that that's true.
Right.
But the
And
reality
education
is,
system. What are you trying to say? No, just
you know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like we got to open up and be open-minded. So I'm the guy that says you can eat a Big Mac and still lose weight. I'm the guy that says you can have chocolate and wine and everything works out fine. I'm the guy that says no food is off limits. And I have the only clinical proven nutrition plan in the U.S., supported by Aetna Insurance, where we actually proved going to under-resourced, underserved communities, we were able to reverse childhood obesity by helping people eat foods that many people say you shouldn't eat. But if you eat them in the right combinations, you can get the outcomes that you desire. So because that's proven, even when I walk in front of the AMA, American Medical Association, National Medical Association, or the work I've done with Let's Move, when I go in there and I first start talking, they're like, arms are crossed, legs are folded, because it goes against everything they believe they know. But then when they look at the data and they go, wow, so how does this work, Robert? It's like meeting people where they are. I'm going to show you how to eat foods in the right combinations. And as a result, we're going to optimize blood sugar. So it's not going to drop too low. It's not going to go too high. Then we're setting the precedence of making the most of various hormones, from insulin to leptin to glucagon. It goes on and on and on.
But this is way too complex for the normal person out there. They don't have time to sit down and come to you and figure it all out, right? So what are some tips?
That's not true.
I
What
feel
are
like this
some
is
tips
not
a
true.
very
do?
approachable plan when you're meeting people where they are. And you said you can eat a Big Mac
Exactly.
and lose weight. I don't know a single person who wouldn't say, sign me up.
Our producer, we had filet of fish the other night, late at night, and we were happy and smiling.
It came in thin still.
Right, but see, the thing was, we didn't eat the bread with the fries. That's what adds inches to the thighs. So if you're going to eat, then eat. If
I
you want the bread,
completely agree with that.
don't eat the
Yeah,
fries. But if
I
you really
agree.
want the fries, don't eat the bread. It's
agree.
really that simple.
Interesting.
That was like 1980s Fit for Life. Like that was the whole thing. Don't combine too many things. And I agree. I think it's like
Right.
have your carbs, have them in a simple meal in the afternoon versus in all your meals. It confuses the body.
Yeah,
Too
so
much
I do
going
make
on.
it really, really, really simple.
I like that.
I'm very curious. What was your personal journey to fitness and nutrition like?
Well, I've been an athlete my entire life. So my journey really is stimulated by my mom. So my mom is one of those women who yo-yoed her entire life. So
Yep.
she would gain 100, lose 100. When Oprah Winfrey gained 50, my mom gained 50. And so watching her go through the pain and discomfort and frustration of that opened my eyes that no mom needs to go through that. And so at one point in my life, I was asked to do a weight loss seminar, and I just met people where they were. I showed them, if you really are going to drink soda, let me show you how to make that work. If you really are going to eat those fried chicken wings, let me show you how to make that work. And in the end, I've helped thousands of people do it.
What do you think is the greatest hurdle for most people? Is it just habit? Is it just the poor, sort of lack of information or the bad information? What would you say is the number one challenge that people face when they sort of, take this?
I think confusion. It's kind of like earlier with motivational Monday when I said clarity. When you have like when I would work with the boxers, right? So my job was to get the boxers to make weight.
So worked on a show called The Contender.
Worked on the show and with the Fighters Contender. I wear this championship ring because of Sergio Moore. I helped him become a world champion, and I had him eating chocolate every day. It's really one of those things where you just show people how they can eat what they're going to eat in private and make it where it's part of a lifestyle. And if they get results, who can argue with that?
I love that.
It's interesting because, one of the things that was trending there for a while was LeBron was talking about how LeBron James, basketball player, how he drinks wine before games, the night before games.
Nice.
Right? And lots of people were like, how is that
Go
possible?
LeBron!
Yeah, how is that possible? But it's possible for exactly the reason that you're identifying here, right?
Well, when it comes to wine, bodybuilders oftentimes will drink wine before they walk on the stage. It helps you appear to be more vascular. So, you know what I mean? So it's like there's a lot of cool little tips and tricks that are out there to get a certain look. Or like with Tony Braxton and certain celebrities I've worked with over the years, when they're going to walk the red carpet, I'm the guy that's in the background going, okay, let me show you how you can literally get that body tight and wear white, but yet not feel like you're deprived and missing out.
I love that. I'm all about that Frenchy
rhymes,
style.
man. I got
That's like,
I noticed you're pulling it tweetable.
Right?
I got rhymes.
I do. I really like that. I think that the whole wave of all these different, and in LA, you know, every week it's a new trend. Only eat this, only eat that. And I think, go for it, you guys. I'm not into it.
Right.
I learned that the hard way. I did some terrible diets in my 20s where there was no fat, no whatever, and not healthy at all. And I'll never do that. I believe in balance like you preach. So I think it's amazing. So how can people begin? Like, give us a few tips for people besides not eating the French fries with the bread.
Bread with the fries.
What else?
I would say do the opposite of the sumo wrestler, right? Because the sumo wrestler in Japan, they have it down to a science on how to get big. So the bigger the sumo wrestler is, the more money they can make. So they got it down to where the fat gain is not visceral, like around the organs. It's like subcutaneous. It's like on the outside. And so they've got it down. So what do they do? So let's look at what they do.
I love that.
The sumo wrestler does not drink a lot of water, because if you drink water, your metabolism is sped up. Okay, the sumo wrestler eats once, maybe twice a day, because that's how you slow your metabolism, right? And so most people watching this program are like, he's talking about me. So yes. So they are on a sumo diet. So if you do the opposite, that means that you're going to eat maybe 3 meals in a day and maybe snack in between. So then you need the structure of accountability, you know what I mean? Or like a mentor or a coach or someone that can kind of keep you on track.
You have some challenges available to people online.
I do.
Tell us about
Good
it.
job. I did some research. No, after I did the work with Aetna Insurance on helping people in underserved communities be successful, I decided in 2018 to make my program free.
So where can they find you to work with you? Where can they find the challenges, and where can they find that first supplement?
They can find everything at dietfreelife.com. And if they reach out, then we'll tell them about the collagen and this other product we call a collagen fat shrinker, which is unbelievable. So maybe I'll come back and tell you all about
We
that.
would like to find out about those, right?
In the meantime, I'll try it and let you know what we think of it.
We can do that.
Right?
Yes.
We would really love to try that.
Yes,
I would like to try that the collagen.
I'll make sure I get you guys information on it.
Great. Thank you so much.
I love that so much. Thank you so much for coming down.
Oh, thank you.
over TV.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
So wonderful to see you again, and just looking forward to trying out the stuff.
All right, let's put
Bring it on.
it to the test.
Right? 'Cause I'm under your preaching for sure. So thank you very much, you guys.